Good morning, YouTube. The idea of passion, living your passion in life, bothers me because it leads to great stress, great anxiety, great clinging to self-definitions. One's passion in life is many. We don't just have one passion. We don't have one option, and if we aren't doing that thing, then we failed at life. If that's not our profession, or we're not doing that thing somewhere, we fail. That's not how life works. That's not how you should define your happiness, because it's not true. Passions, pursuits, interests. A passion is what moves you. And over your lifetime, how many different things have moved you? What moves us is driven by our curiosity and our excitement. And just the same as we have multiple soulmates, some of you may disagree, but God forbid you meet your soulmate at 18 and they pass away at 19. Are you supposed to just live alone or settle for the rest of your life because you already had your soulmate? No. There are a lot of different types of connection. There are a lot of different types of a perfect match for you in any time, period, in any type. No two people are going to be alike, but that does not mean that the next and the next and the next are going to be less than. They're just going to be different. And that doesn't diminish that person, nor does it diminish you for selling out or something because you didn't find or keep your original passion. I was into art for a very, 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 very long time, and I have been pushing myself and pushing myself and pushing myself, because it was since I was small, trying to make myself do art, because that's my passion. That's my passion. It's always been my passion. At least it's been the longest standing interest. The longest standing thing that gets me excited. Well, it's become more about my identity versus what gets me excited. It doesn't excite me anymore, or I'd be doing it. I'm not as interested, or I'd be doing it. I'm interested in what it says about me. And how I feel about myself having let it go. If I stop trying to force something to be my passion that isn't really my passion, maybe it would just naturally come back. I go through these phases where I pick up an interest and I put it down over time, and none of these is lesser or greater. It's what is interesting to me now. People get so attached to this idea of following your passion that they may stick to the same thing their entire life, even when their heart's not in it anymore. Even if they know where their heart is, they won't go. They won't try that new thing because what their career says about them, what they've been up to says about them. And they don't want to relinquish that. Well, who am I without my job? Who am I if I'm not vegan? Who am I if I become vegan? Who am I if I quit this nonprofit and start my own business? Does that mean I'm bad and I'm selfish? is this where I should be? Is this what I should be doing? Or they don't know what they should be doing. And yeah, we need to dabble, to try things, because we don't know what excites us. It's like a kid sitting in his bedroom going, I don't know what to do with my day. Well, if you're just sitting there, you're never going to figure it out. Go outside and play. And something will strike your interest. And for now, that's your passion. It is okay. It is more than okay to change your mind. It is good to change your mind. It is good to stick with something. When you are deriving joy and providing joy to others through what you are doing. If you are dissatisfied with your job and your activities and they don't provide you joy, you're not going to be a very happy person to the people around you. If you're doing it just because you think you have to, because it defines you somehow, or you're endlessly seeking that one thing that is going to last you a lifetime and grow you in one direction. Just start some stuff and something will strike a chord. You don't have to justify changing. Life is in the action. And change is required. Change is guaranteed. That's why sometimes if we have a job that we don't like, we won't change it. We have a relationship that we don't like, we won't change it. Stick with the evil you know. You know what this is about. It feels safe. It's good enough. Or you've identified yourself as a particular thing and you fear the change, but then when that person leaves you or you get fired from your job, you actually feel relief. You feel relieved. And the reason why we feel relief when we lose something is because we shouldn't have been there anymore. And we stay often because of what it says about our identity, what we think it says about our identity, or what other people would think if we quit, what implications would have if we quit. You have one life. You have one life, but you have a bunch of options. You have a bunch of options. Passion, your passion, what you're into, your capacity to change, doesn't mean you're good or bad, and it's not one thing that you're endlessly searching for. We have a million passions. We have a million options. If your passions don't change over time, then, well, maybe there's one thing that you're really, really into. That's awesome. But you may not be growing at all unless that passion is growing and excelling and expanding and fine-tuning, and it still brings you the same sort of giddy excitement that it always has, then you're growing in that place. But if you're not growing, what are you doing? If you're stuck, if you're limited, it's not really a passion. Passion is important, but passion isn't singular. Passion evolves. Passion changes. And you have the right, kind of the responsibility to yourself, and because of you can't be the best at that work that you're doing, at that life that you're doing, if you're not invested in it. To the people that you are serving, and to the people that surround you in your life, to allow yourself to accept new passions and new interests, because that makes you alive. It makes you I really got high there. Alive! It makes you alive. It makes you feel good, and when you are feeling good, you're really invested in what you're doing. You really enjoy what you're getting up to. You serve those people better that you are working with or acting around in your activities, and your activities are better, and your surrounding people are better because your attitude is better, because you're being true to yourself at any given time, and you're happy. If you're lost and you're judging yourself because I haven't found my passion, I'm just floundering in life and everyone can see it. You don't have to, there is no requirement to find a passion and pigeonhole yourself. The times when you feel like you don't have anything going on and you haven't found your life's passion, well, for one, you haven't found a current passion. Passions pass. And you're putting too much pressure on yourself seeking something. It's like the woman that's like, I haven't found my soulmate. And so she desperately looks for someone to marry. I must marry them. I must marry it. Anyone could fill that spot. It's not who they're with and that relationship that they find in this person and the next person and the next person and the next person until they find something they like. Because they've tried things and they're legitimately happy. It's the end goal. I have to have my soulmate. I have to have my passion. To the point where you may be blinding yourself from finding your passion for now. Because you're not seeing it when you're experiencing it. And the world is wide open for you if you feel like you don't have it yet. You don't have that thing that really hits your chord right now. You have had interests in the past. They have existed. It's okay if they don't interest you anymore. You're like a single person. The world is your oyster. You have so many possibilities. You just have to have patience and an open mind. And don't judge yourself for having options. Don't judge yourself for having options. And if, like me, you beat yourself up because you're not doing something that you should, you're not using your natural gifts, guilting yourself is not going to get you anywhere. It's just going to create more of a negative association with that thing that you let go, your passion you let go. We don't know where life is going to take us. We don't know what doors are going to open up. Release it. Release it and move on. Who cares if I'm not making art anymore? I don't have to. And the minute I stop trying to make myself have to, I'll probably pick it back up. If I don't, I don't. I'm doing other things. And I go back and forth and I go all over the place. Right now, my partner is super into cooking. He has other ideas of writings that he's come up with that are fabulous, but he hasn't got started on them. Who cares? He built a house at one point. Totally. Wiring, plumbing, everything. He can tear a car apart and put it back together. He's not doing those things. He's into sewing. Who cares? Who cares what you're doing right now? Who cares what you're doing right now? Unless it doesn't satisfy you. So stop searching for your single soulmate and your life's soulmate in your passion. Stop identifying yourself with the things that you do as who you are, and that you have to stay a certain way. When we were growing up, we went through so many phases. Change of the clothes, change of the music, change of the friends. We were constantly changing who we are. Once we became an adult, suddenly we got into this place where we thought we couldn't change anymore, that would be somehow inauthentic. Staying where you aren't is inauthentic. Identity, passions, everything is changeable. You should go after for a passion the thing that you are passionate about at any given time. And if you're not passionate about anything, don't try to go after something or beat yourself up about not being passionate about what you used to be passionate about just because you need to have a passion. And if something feels kind of good, but it doesn't fit your definition of valuable, worthwhile, it doesn't jive with who you've defined yourself to be, like someone who spent their life volunteering and giving to the world, they're super interested in starting their own business. Go ahead. Go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. Change is everywhere. Passion is changeable. Don't attach to anything. You. If you like kickball or you like baseball, whatever it is you like, do it. Whatever it is you don't, don't. You don't have to justify yourself to anyone but yourself. And the happier you are, the more authentic, the more fulfilled that you are, the happier an individual you will be, the more you will put out in effort, because you'll be motivated, and the more you will put out towards other people. And when you're not in your passion, or your passion for the time being, don't blindly seek it like a single person desperate to be married, or beat yourself up, or think there's something wrong with you because you're in between at the moment. It means the world is your oyster. Anything could hit that mark. You may get really into diving out of airplanes. You don't know. Keep your options open. Realize you're sort of at a golden place. Anything could happen. It doesn't mean that there's an achievement that's your passion. It's that thing that moves you. You could be passionate about so many things. And when you realize the versatility and the acceptability of being whoever you are, there's a lot of things that can strike a chord, and then they cannot strike a chord anymore. And that's fine. Then all you have to have is patience. You just have to have patience and let life play out, and you'll get hit with something, and you'll enjoy it, and you'll move toward it. And when you stop enjoying it, when it stops serving you, don't force it, because your one life's passion is bullshit. Love you guys. Done bullshitting. I have real stuff to do. Bye, YouTube.